Oh, hello. Just catching up on the classics of literature. Yeah, I had to use the webcam this week. Sorry about that. Hopefully you guys don't mind all that. With that said, let's start this episode of Equestria Redacted. Let's start with an announcement. 1 week after naming this show, it already has gotten an honor, and I would like to thank Anthony Aguilar, aka For No Good Reason, for giving us that honor. He tweeted this at me, which I feel just sums up this show pretty well, actually. After I accused him of inviting people on to share nonsense stories about the people he doesn't like, he tweeted this. Isn't that your show, Ephrom? No, it isn't. I've never invited a single person onto my show, ever. You know, Josh name-dropped you as obscure, shitty crap. Josh was, of course, banned from several good Christian Minecraft servers over that comment. Seriously though, we're obscure, shitty crap now, guys. Isn't that amazing? We've officially got our name recognized by somebody. You know, and it was for no good reason, but still. He refuses to believe you got Ink Rose to talk to you. Lol. That one he shouldn't believe because I never got Ink Rose to talk to me. I think she's responded to like a tweet I made about her once, like a year ago. I honestly forgot about it until FNGR brought it up on. That's how little relevance Ink Rose is to me at this point. Now it's time to move on to a look at the new episode. This week's episode is called Fake It Till You Make It, in which Fluttershy has to take over for Rarity's shop because Rarity is going off to Camelot to do a fashion show. In which she starts pretending to be all these different ponies. One of this is a shop pony who's like fashion snooty. Another is like you're essentially your stereotypical 16-year-old girl. And one is a very dark and complicated character, let me tell you. I thought this episode was hilarious. Seeing Fluttershy be a personality she normally isn't is always funny to me. You know, it's funny to see her be assertive. It's funny to see her be kind of dry. It's funny to see her just be this snooty, highbrow pony. And may I just say, Friendship is Magic did a really good job. Can I just say, this show has been savage as of lately. First, it went on to attack racist bureaucrats in the Season 8 premiere. And that was not just me making things up. That was in the episode. Then it went on to take those actually people. And now it's attacking just the entire city-dwelling population, and I absolutely love it. You know, it went after them for... It went after very snooty people, went after very not caring people. Like, the first line is, it was when Rarity was at the boutique and she was, like, training Fluttershy. This woman just walks in, she asks for these completely contradictory things. And it's just hilarious. I laughed all the time watching this episode. You know, it feels like Season 8 is trying to be a comedy season, and that's really good. Because this show is really funny. And I recommend that. And also, hearing Fluttershy say both woke and lit is like in my top 5 favorite things of all time. Okay? And now for this week's out-of-context quote. It's a unique play on the old standard. We call it a Rarity cut with a triple cut stitched hem and a guacamole chevic pattern fabric. Did you mean chevron? If I had meant chevron, then that's what I would have said. Now on to the news. I know I promised I'd include some BabsCon stories in this week's episode, but I couldn't because no one really interesting went to BabsCon. The ones that did, I could find stories on. I didn't have enough. Like, there was this whole thing with KP, for instance, that I'm probably going to cover within the next 2-3 weeks. 3 weeks the latest. However, I don't have enough details on that right now in order to really cover it. And because I felt this was much more important. We're going to start off with our old pal Performance Major. You may remember him as the Glee fan who said Hitler shouldn't kill himself, and said that he is in fact the biggest erotic role player there is. and he will erotically roleplay with anyone who's willing. And sometimes, if the minor is mature enough, he'll even do that. Now, he admitted this was wrong, rightfully, mind you. However, now he's making a video called Alicorns Are Immortal, in which he essentially responded with the argument, well, haters gonna hate. So what he's doing is wrong, he knows it's wrong, he admitted in a previous video it's wrong, but he's going to continue to do it anyway. Wow, we're throwing pretension into the mix. Performance major, you just have everything, don't you? This is what bothers me about people like him. They admit what they're doing is wrong when it gains them sympathy, and when that fails, you know what their response is? Well, I was just above you people anyway. It's just annoying to watch. That describes Performance Major just perfectly. Annoying. If he didn't make that idiotic comment in his first video on Toon, I probably would not have paid as much attention to him. I would have probably been making fun of him the entire time. However, I wouldn't be spending so much time dedicated to him because he wouldn't be a pedophile then. He'd have just been a whiny little boy. He'd have been a whiny, over-emotional imbecile. That's who you are, Performance Major. There's also reason to suspect that Performance Major's game has engaged in comment moderation, which isn't even usually a bad thing in my book. It depends on how it's used. If it's being used to, say, get rid of spam comments, I don't have an issue. However, despite this video having 70 ratings, only 6 of which are positive, out of the 29 comments you can find, almost all of them are, "You go, Performance Major, you're a good person." I wonder why that's the case. I really do. Fill me in, Performance Major. Enlighten me. Now, this next one is someone by the name of Dusky Novel. He's a person who has admitted to ERPing, which I'm sure he follows the Performance Major logic that that's not the same thing as sex, which has not been made a distinction in any laws regulating either of them, by the way. They're essentially just making things up when they say that, but he's admitted to doing it with people as young as 11. Now, this one was done with the help of, for no good reason, Thought Bubble Brittany, Shelly D, and Quillstroke. People who I'm not typically the biggest fans of, but I will give them credit where credit is due. It's always worth to catch a pedophile. Link to his confession in the description. And for some reason, FNGR put up on BitChute and Minds, but not YouTube. I don't know why he did that. I'm not even using that as a point against him. I'm just confused. However, he decided to put in the description, "Dear Jerry," that's right, I got another one. When are you gonna find one? When are you gonna find... I like that. You had to take a shot at Pete, because Brittany is not friends with Pete, or used to be friends with Pete, or something. Again, listening to Brittany is like looking at the letters of alphabet soup and trying to form a sentence. You can maybe find a point in there, but it's not very likely. Also, found this out while pulling up Lily Pete's channel to get the next video. As of right now, Lily has changed her channel name to Lily Orchard, which, if you do not know, is Lizzie's last name. So as such, I recommend you all try to refer to her as such, as I will also attempt to. But on to the actual story, Aguilar used to be dating a girl named Buttons. As far as I'm aware, they're split up now. At least this story makes it sound like they should be if they aren't. And it turns out that Buttons has confessed quite a few things about Aguilar, which I am now going to read out. I think they'll show you what kind of person Anthony Aguilar really is. And again, we've covered him extensively in the past, but always good to have a little refresher. Here are just a few of the mentioned Buttons, who I guess goes by they, them pronouns, said about Aguilar. I mean, the main thing he fell in love with me for is when Vita showed and I liked the daddy kink, and he, like, after I got out of the hospital for attempted suicide, he was like, hope you don't find me creepy. Just like Toon, his best friend, mind you, or former friend, and, like, hugged me and told me how cute I was for being a daddy's girl. I cannot hear like the same way after watching today's episode. And that was the first foundation of the relationship. It's why I didn't know if we were dating at first or not, because it was mostly sexual. Guess being in a dark place in foster care and getting out of the hospital for attempted suicide put me in a mentality of when a guy you barely talk to says he's glad you're alive, then thinks you're cute, you feel actively loved. I could get my other laptop, because it has the ability to go back to the beginning of all the Skype convos. It's short for conversation, if you didn't know. And get where he said he loved me and stuff. He also loved the fact that I stuttered and called him sir in our first call. It was how my mother raised me, to say sir and ma'am all the time. And the day we got together is the day my mom died. So I was in a really dark spot. So this girl comes out, she has all these issues. And Aguilar, guess what Aguilar does? Just take a wild guess what Aguilar does. If you know this series, you know what Aguilar does. Here's another message. People tried telling me, but he told me they were petty assholes or something. That's a typical strain of abuse. Just everyone who doesn't like me is bad. He also had us hide when we were dating till BronyCon in August. He also, like, had me RP stuff. Like Star versus the Forces of Evil ERP. And I asked if it was bad and well, and then there's a link to something from Guys, though I don't think we see that in the video. Star versus the Forces of Evil is about people in elementary school, by the way. About kids, and I think in elementary school, maybe in early middle school. I don't know, I don't watch it much, but either way, they're very young kids. And Aguilar tried to get his girlfriend to roleplay as those characters. That is disgusting. There is no nice way to put that. That's disgusting. It's not even like he's using the pretext of, oh, I aged them up. No, he's just, these are little kids. Want to have sex with them? Oh my god. Is it any surprise he was best friends with Toon Critic? And again, this is exactly what I predicted when the whole Toon thing started. They all have these kinds of secrets. Not all of them are as bad, although I hope not all of them are as bad as this. But one by one, the dominoes are going to fall, and we're going to see just the kind of people they are. We've already seen it with Toon. We're starting to see it with Aguilar. There are probably a couple others we're going to start seeing it here with by the end of the year. Place your bets on who's going down next. Here's some more. He literally made me feel like I was a burden for my PTSD, then turned around and seemed affectionate. And this was probably my biggest mistake. I went to his house for a week, and this is going to be awkward because it's sexual stuff, and then he just goes on. I'm not going to read all of that, mainly because it's really long. But link will be in the description if you're curious about the exact sex acts for no good reason. That's the other reason I'm not reading that. It is no offense, but that's kind of gross. Look, I have nothing against sex, just quite a bit against for no good reason. Like this. Look, I'm trying to make jokes in order to make this more comfortable for you guys, but I cannot stress just how screwed up this is. And by the way, Buttons is, I believe, 20. Aguilar is 39, and he dates like he's 13. This is how 13-year-olds date. 13-year-old girls, for that matter, date. Just, oh, you looked at someone I didn't like? How could you? Just that kind of thing. It's just sad to watch. It's just sad to watch at this point. That's how I put it. It's pathetic. Here's another one. From Buttons. See his friends Rocky and Solar. I know Solar is probably Solar Flare. Who I think was actually in the call with Toon, if I'm not mistaken. And I have no clue who Rocky is. Called me a whore in a call the other day for wanting sex with Anthony. Anthony wasn't there in a King of Limbo call. And gave one person the pass. Cuz, I think they meant cuz. They had a breakup. They had a breakup, so therefore they have to call people whores. Duh. You don't know psychology? Hey, Aguilar has a degree in psychology, okay? He didn't stand up for me to the Secret Rift mods or Bliss. He also concerned me a lot. Here's another one. Limbo always told me I was too easily triggered too. Mimi, especially. Now, some of you may not know who Mimi is. She's one of the people, you remember that image I think Bliss made of her, Golden Fox, and a third girl, Craig. I didn't know who the third girl was originally. The third girl is Mimi, okay? Now, she was, I believe, one of Toon's victims. And she goes on, she posted a document not too long ago and made it public, saying that we just shouldn't talk about the Brony D&D thing. And that she didn't care, and therefore nobody should care. Which, first off, is a beyond selfish worldview to have. Just, I don't care, therefore no one else should care. That's just an idiotic worldview. But second off, she's still friends with a lot of people in the Secret Rift. She's still in that in-group. She's still in that one big club, and you ain't in it for sure. She is, though. I actually read the document, by the way, and it took me... It's about a page. I'm gonna see... It's just a page. And I could still find a straw man about 3 paragraphs saying, here you go. People are dogpiling, trying to force Brony D&D to be removed. No one's doing that. They just want specific videos to not be uploaded. The ones that already aren't uploaded should not be uploaded. Is that fair? We don't want the whole show to just go away. We just want the ones that aren't already uploaded to remain not uploaded. I can't, just can't be a hard concept, you guys. They have to be doing this intentionally at this point. Because it can't be a hard concept to grasp of, don't make more, or get rid of everything. Just get rid of all of it. Just start over. All that. And even Wolf seems to think that was the reason, or at least he pretends that's what he thinks the reason was. He may just be playing stupid. He is Dr. Wolf. I can barely tell the difference when he is playing stupid and when he is just stupid. Anyway, I'd like to end by saying this. Did you guys know April is Sexual Assault Awareness Month? You do now. I'm Ephrom, and good night. And before you ask, no, I do not know what irony is.